We are back with another Dynasty rookie deep stash. As always, guys, if you like Dynasty content, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. At the time of the recording, I think we're 3 away from 1,300. Would be awesome if we could get there with this video. If you're new to the channel, we really like to dive deep into the rookie class now. If a lot of you have done your rookie drafts, I'd say about 70, 80% of rookie drafts are done already. We have mostly the same top 50-ish guys that are going in rookie drafts. Now, maybe someone else sneaks from outside of that top 50, sneaks in, and maybe they go in a weird order. But guys like Jarquez Hunter, DJ Giddens, even guys like, Trevor Etienne and Woody Marks, these guys are all getting drafted. But we're trying to look deep. We're trying to find the hidden gem, the next Puka Nacua, the guy that's sitting out there on your waiver wire that could have some impact and increase in value as we head into the 2025 season. And today we're talking about undrafted free agent rookie running back out of Delaware, Marcus Yarns. Now, not a lot of people know much about Marcus Yarns, and I don't really blame them. Not a lot of people know who's watching Delaware football besides, people in Delaware maybe, or people who went to the university. So I don't blame people. It's an FCS school, lower level competition and things like that. But Marcus Yarns to me has some intriguing qualities that I could see a path for him potentially taking on a role. And again, am I trying to tell you this is going to be the next Alvin Kamara? Am I trying to tell you this is going to be the next James Robinson even? No, I'm not. What I'm trying to do is look at guys that I think could increase in value. The perfect example last year was Jordan Whittington. We were kind of all in on Jordan Whittington on this channel. And to be honest, Jordan Whittington was a success because Jordan Whittington now is sitting on everyone's roster at this point. Most people's rosters, unless you play in a very shallow league. And so that's kind of what we're looking for here. Guys that could just increase in value and have a path to success maybe year one. You see the measurables there. He's 5'11", 193. So he's a smaller back. He's not a workhorse. He's not a big back. You see the 2024 stats there, 844 rushing yards, 300 receiving yards, 11 total touchdowns. Very, very productive at Delaware the last couple of years, at over 900 yards rushing last year, over 300 yards receiving, and 18 total touchdowns. So just very, very productive player for Delaware. Don't have the Dominator numbers because for those of you that don't know what is Dominator, Dominator is the percentage of your team's offense. So for running backs, it's what percentage of your team's yards and touchdowns were you responsible for? Receiving yards and rushing yards, receiving and rushing touchdowns were you responsible for? And generally, basically every running back who's ever been successful in the NFL has produced in college. I mean, it seems like, yeah, duh. But I think sometimes we tend to forget this, like, the base level of like judging a player, it's not yards per route run and hand size and arm size and 40-yard time. It's literally, did you produce? So that's why Dominator to me is important to look at. So don't have that numbers for him just because it's hard to find, team stats for Delaware and FCS schools. I'm sure it's out there somewhere, but it's just a little bit harder to find than some of these bigger schools. But we see the combine numbers there. He ran a 4.45. 1.55 10-yard split, a 122 broad jump. Those are the two combine drills that really have shown that matter for predicting future success. It's actually not the 40-yard time. It's not size. It's not speed. It's your 10-yard split, which is related to speed, but it's more related to burst than anything. It's broad jump and it's 3-cone. Now, a lot of running backs don't do the 3-cone, but the 10-yard split and the broad jump are the two probably most important combine drills when judging potential success for running backs. And he was good in both of those. He was in the 80th percentile for his 40-yard time. Specifically, he was 83rd percentile. His broad jump was in the 74th percentile. His 10-yard split was in the 74th percentile. He also did well at his vertical. He was in the 84th percentile. And actually, he did do his 3-cone. I missed that. Was very, very bad, though. He's in the 9th percentile. So 91% of running backs over the last in this database did better than him. So no good on the 3-cone, but we see, and then we look at some of the analytical numbers here. The elusive rating, the breakaway percentage, the yards per route run. What is elusive rating? Elusive rating is your ability to force missed tackles independent of blocking, right? You're one-on-one against the linebacker in the hole or against a defensive back, against a safety, whatever. Can you force missed tackles? Can you make him miss tackles? Because that's really key to turning a 5-yard run into a 10, 15-yard run, right? Or longer, is your ability to force missed tackles. He was at 95.6. That's just above the threshold we like to see. The average for running backs who have been successful in the NFL since 2010, the elusive rating is 94.8. 94.8. And so he's just above that. Is it anything to write home about? No. You look at some of the, high-level prospects in the, running backs taken in this NFL draft. Ashton Genty, 215.1. Marion Hampton, 126.8. Cam Scadaboo, 139.1. So nowhere close to those guys. Those guys put up elite numbers with the elusive rating, as well as a lot of other running backs like Caleb Johnson, Dylan Sampson, Travion Henderson. But still right above the threshold that we like to see. Anything lower than that number, 95, is probably like, okay, it's going to be tough to be successful. And then the breakaway percentage. Breakaway percentage is what percentage of your yards came on runs of 15 yards or more. And his about 42% of his rushing yards came on big runs. Big runs, again, meaning 15 yards or more. Again, just right around that threshold that we're looking for. Some of the top guys, again, Ashton Genty, 52.6%. Caleb Johnson, 56.1%. Travion Henderson, 53.9%. So basically what this is showing you is, can you break tackles and are you explosive? Those are what those numbers are showing you and breaking it down. So he is right around the level we like to see for running backs to be successful in the NFL. He's not incredibly elusive. He's not ridiculously, explosive or anything like that, but he is above average, and that's important. Now, what I really like about Marcus Yarns is his yards per route run number. His yards per route run number is in his career is 2.12 in his career. By the way, I think that does include his first year where he only had like 2 catches or something like that. So it would probably be even higher. 2.12 was 2024, his 2024 number. So 2.12 was his 2024 number. And that was better than most, I think everyone in this draft class for last year in particular, 2.12. I think the next highest from last year's numbers was potentially Jaden Blue at 1.58 or Ashton Genty at 1.6. It was Ashton Genty at 1.6 was the second highest. He was at 2.12. That's really, really good for running backs. Generally, we want to see running backs average above 1.5. And he's at 2.12. And I think that's where his bread and butter is going to be, I think. And if we're going to have success, if we're going to be talking about Marcus Yarns, it's going to be because he becomes this good pass catching back, right? I think that's the path to success for him. And so what I like about him when I watch the tape, I think he has very good speed, very good burst. He has that big play potential. When he is loose, not a lot of guys can catch him. Again, was playing against lower competition and stuff like that, but not a lot of guys can catch him. I think I don't think he's great in pass protection, but I think he's good at recognizing who the blitzing linebacker or whatever it is, and again, just very effective in the passing game. Now, what I'm concerned about again is his smaller frame, and just his overall power. And taking on blockers and stuff like that, especially when you're going from the FCS level to the NFL level, it's going to be a completely different game essentially. But I see him potentially making making impact on the Saints with this ability as being this dual role, change of pace type of back who gives you 8 to 12 touches every game. Anywhere in that range, hopefully, let's just say like anywhere from 5 to 8 carries and then, 2 to 4 catches every single game, or on average at least. And the question's going to be is, can he be efficient with that? And I think there's a chance he can be, right? I think he's one of those players. Think of like a Keaton Mitchell. Keaton Mitchell a couple of years ago before he tore his ACL and shredded his ACL, he started to come on. He played in 8 games in 2023. He had almost 500 total yards and averaged 8.7 yards per touch. 8.7 yards per touch is really damn good, in my opinion. 8.7 yards per touch is really, really damn good. If you just give yourself 150 touches on 8.7, you're over 1,300 total yards. Like, that's insane production. And 150 touches, by the way, is not a lot. That's less than 10 per game. In 150 touches, that's like 8 or 9 touches a game. So I could see Marcus Yarns kind of having that kind of impact for these players, right? That kind of impact, in my opinion. And as you remember, I'm pretty sure Keaton Mitchell was also an undrafted guy. So now, are they the same player? Not necessarily. Like, I think Keaton Mitchell was even a little bit more explosive, a little bit faster. I think he ran like a sub 4.4 40. So his burst was better. But I could see Arns having that type of path on the Saints, like averaging 7.5 yards per touch and giving him 150 touches in a season. And then we'll see what that means. Hopefully that's going to include 35 catches or something like that. Again, we're expecting a lot from year one. We just need to see something. Just like with Keaton Mitchell, we saw something. We saw enough to, if he didn't get injured, we would have held on to him. And maybe we did hold on to him, even though he was injured. But we saw enough from Keaton Mitchell year one to justify holding on to him. Right now, again, did you drop him because of the knee injury and stuff? Maybe. But we saw enough. We saw a guy who was very, very efficient, put up almost 500 yards in 8 games, averaged over 8.5 yards per touch, could catch the ball, average over 10 yards per reception, things like that, right? So that's all we need to see from Marcus Yarns. It's just something over the course of the season that says, okay, I can see potential here moving on into year 2, right? And so, then the last thing we look at is, again, his opportunity. And we talk about the Saints. And the reason why I kind of like Marcus Yarns' potential year 1 to show something is because he's on the Saints. They have Alvin Kamara, who is getting old now at this point. And also, like, for the Saints, does it make sense, if you're not going to compete this year, does it make sense to hold on to Alvin Kamara, who's going to be 30 years old in a month or two? Not really. So you have Alvin Kamara. You have Kendre Miller, who just I don't know what to expect from Kendre Miller. It's not this this coaching staff, this regime didn't draft him. He hasn't proven anything in his career. You have a Devin Neal, who a lot of people like, I like as well, but he's a 6th-round pick as well. So it's not like crazy to think, oh, this undrafted guy could outperform this 6th-round pick, right? And then you have Clyde Edwards-Helaire. That's their 1, 2, 3, 4. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, kind of a bust in my opinion. Marcus Yarns, to me, does something different than all those guys. He has a unique skill set that none of those guys have, except for maybe Kamara, and that's the ability to catch passes and to be explosive. And so I'm excited to see what happens with Marcus Yarns. One last thing I would say is also he didn't fumble. He hardly ever fumbled in college. I think he had three of his 4 seasons he didn't fumble the ball, and then he had 1 year where he fumbled the ball 3 times. So in his career, he fumbled the ball 3 times. And by the way, that career includes 65 catches and 364 carries. So we're talking about a guy who had well over 430 touches, and he fumbled the ball 3 times, which is not what you expect necessarily from a smaller guy. So some things to like about him. Keep an eye on him. If you play in deeper leagues, I would throw him on your taxi squad or your roster just to see what happens during training camp. He could easily not even make the team. He could be buried in the depth chart, and you can kind of cut him, after a couple of weeks or something. But see what happens in training camp. See if he makes the team, and you could have a little bit of a hidden gem here in Marcus Yarns. So I appreciate everyone. We'll be back with another video here soon. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe button and join our Discord. Link is in the description, and I'll see you guys all in the next video.